I would actually back the United States to win.
If we don't try this, though, then I think it's a wrap.
Is Trump some kind of economic genius? Is he the Rain Man of global economics, or is he absolutely crazy? Thinking about it, I mean, what was going on with Rain Man? Could we rely on him? I mean, he was pretty good when he was guessing how many matches there were, but his driving wasn't as good as he claimed. He kept saying that he was an excellent driver, but he was driving pretty slowly, as I recall. Let's get right into this story straight away. The Chinese seem to be enjoying it. I don't know much about China or Chinese culture, Confucianism, Chairman Mao, the various branches of Buddhism, the incredible warrior cultures that have emerged out of that land. I do know that China has been continually vilified by Western imperialist powers. The British used to do it. It reached an apex a couple hundred years ago in the Box Wars, of course, which were the trade wars of their time, where the British were getting sort of, what was it, opiates and stuff to keep our population all docile. How things have changed. You'd never drug a population these days, one way or another, with bad food and bad medicine to keep them all docile and stupid. We've come so far that Jeff Bezos and his fiancée can go to space about once a fucking week, and we call it progress. Meanwhile, we are still captured by the very same ideas that have always abided. Here are the Chinese mocking the United States of America, and perhaps even more important than that, Toys R Us, saying that people will be dressed in furs in Toys R Us. I'm not even sure that I understand conceptually what that is. You keep this up, you'll be buying rocks for your kids, you Stone Age. Jason Momoa and you will be in Toys R Us. There's going to be rough times in there, yeah? So get your shit together. Now, this is where it gets serious. It's not about Toys R Us. It's about actually critical exports that will impact automakers, aerospace manufacturers, semiconductor companies, and military contractors are all going to be impacted by the suspension of trade of vital minerals. One of the curious areas of this ongoing trade war has been whether or not smartphones would be exempted. And doesn't that show you just how significant a part of the economy these little devices? Be careful before you confiscate them off your kids, by the way, especially if you're in the UK, because you could get yourself banged right up if you confiscate your children's iPhones. That's just another story emerging out of the crazy UK right now. What's interesting to me is that these sort of extraordinary devices that represent a level of excellence unimaginable 30, 40 years ago are now regarded as utterly expendable. Isn't it time for us to look at our consumption? Isn't it time for us to conduct a deep inventory of ourselves and our habits and our connections? Like, it shows really that our true religion is consuming, doesn't it? Because when people talk about anything that might interrupt the constant flow of consumption, people go in a hysteria. The left, who claim that they worship social justice and liberalism and fairness, actually go into mad spasms when there is a threat to their ability to consume. You know, and I know, that consuming is a palliative, a spiritual palliative. People are buying stuff, and when I say people, I mean me, because we're unhappy inside, because we think that there's a void to fill within us. This is Holy Week. You can only fill that void with the loving embrace of your Heavenly Father. iPhones ain't going to do it for you. Of course, an iPhone is not in of itself a malign artifact. You can use it to do a million magnificent things, and the genii behind its inception and execution ought to be celebrated and applauded. But this trade war reveals to us what our true nature is, what our true devotion is. We are devoted to things. As you know, we are meant to love people and use things. But these days, we love things and use people. We can't live like that. That's false idolatry. We've been shown how to live. We've been given the perfect example. Donald Trump may be the perfect man to manage these complex relationships that are emerging in a new world. A post-imperialist world may be available to us. America doesn't have to continue in the inert flow of the British Empire, conquering and opposing territories, regarding all things as an opportunity either for trade or subjugation. New opportunities may yet emerge, but not if we are fixated upon consuming, because our hearts are broken, because we are empty and hollow. Trump is continuing with the trade war. It's a long Trump post. Okay, let me strap in because you have to take these seriously and go in and out of accents and stuff. So nobody's getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances and non-monetary tariff barriers that other countries have used against us, especially not China, which by far treats us the worst. There was no tariff exception announced on Friday. These products are subject to the existing 20% fentanyl tariffs, and they are just moving to a different tariff bucket. The fake news knows this, but refuses to report it. We are taking a look at semiconductors and the whole electronics supply chain in the upcoming national security tariff investigations. What's been exposed is that we need to make products in the United States and that we will not be held hostage by other countries, especially hostile trading nations like China, which will do everything within its power to disrespect the American people. It certainly does seem to be the case with that caveman meme and that other fat people meme. They are doing a lot of things within their power. Now, for a brief précis of where we are so far in this post, isn't it interesting that the regular old school media is defunct and irrelevant now because Trump can compose and post a competent passage like this one that negates the necessity of the New York Times or Rachel Maddow or, Sean Hannity to chew this up for us, or even me. You can just directly see what at least he's saying. Of course, now you can subsequently question whether or not you trust Donald Trump, or whether he's lying, or whether he's a manipulator, or whether, like Bill Maher said after that meeting, he's a complex character that seems to sort of vacillate between a public persona and a private persona. And before you condemn that out of hand, we all bloody well do that. Are you the same when you're at home with your wife and kids as you are when you're trying to conduct your life in this crazy, mental, sometimes frankly evil world? The fact is that it's changing fast, and Donald Trump was one of the people that created this space with his use of social media. He was one of the first that showed us that these institutions were corrupt and unreliable and populated by evil liars, and that you could bypass them. I ain't saying that Donald Trump's perfect. He hardly needs me to say that. That's not even a claim that needs to be made. What we're observing now is old power structures are shifting pretty fast, and whatever he is and whatever he's doing, it ain't what you would have got out of the last administration. Why didn't Barack Obama do stuff like this after 2008? What that dude done after saying to everyone, and he was a kind of a world's president for a minute because we were all caught up in that. He said, well, I'm going to govern for the American people. And what he did was govern for the financial industry. Bailed out the banks when he could have bailed out American people. Let me know what you think about that in the comments and chat. What you're getting now with Trump and Truth Social is direct access to the mind of Trump, whether you like it or not. We also cannot let them continue to abuse us on trade like they have for decades. Those days are over. The golden age of America, which includes the upcoming tax and regulation cuts, a substantial amount of which was just approved by the House and Senate, will mean more and better paying jobs, making products in our nation and treating other countries, in particular China, the same way they've treated us. The bottom line is that our country will be bigger, better and stronger than ever before. We will make America great again. He goes out on a hit every single time, don't he? That man knows how to communicate. Whether you like him or don't like him, and whether you think he's delivered or not when it comes to Middle Eastern peace or the Ukraine-Russia conflicts, he is definitely doing things that would not have happened under another administration. And I would say a significant percentage of the criticism and attacks that he and his government and these measures face are from globalist imperialists that fear a true nativist leader coming in and doing reckless stuff. Now, there's another side to this story. Many people, of course, think that what happened is Trump granted extraordinary insights and opportunities for insider trading to some of his closest, well, not about closest allies, some people. We'll get into that in a minute. But what I'll tell you for now is that this guy, this man, Mr. President Donald Trump, is doing stuff that's somewhat outside of the box. Now, let me know what you think about that in the comments and chat. And consider these points, all of you on Rumble. Do you think that Trump and the Trump administration are controlled by the same global forces that would have controlled Kamala Harris? Or do you think this is a distinct movement? Let me know whether you think that there needed to be tariff wars. In short, think for yourself and interface with this information directly, because whatever may be true and might not be true, at least you, like never before, have access to direct verbatim passages of information from Trump. Whether or not he's lying, we can work out for ourselves, can't we? Because we're not idiots. Become competent. Become competent now. Do you feel like you're permanently in fight, flight, or freeze under the pressures of the world? Of course you do. The system is designed to keep you in Luciferian entrapment. You need bioptimizers. Do you ever feel like your body's stress switch is permanently stuck on, like you can't shut your mind off at night? Believe me, baby. That was me until I discovered what was really happening. It wasn't just stress, it was magnesium deficiency. I had barely any magnesium. And not just magnesium, but all 7 types. That's when I discovered Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. This changed everything about me. Don't be disgusting. Within days of taking it, I noticed I was falling asleep faster, waking up refreshed, and handling daily stress so much better. What makes it different? Most supplements only contain 1 or 2 types of magnesium. Magnesium Breakthrough delivers all 7 forms your body needs in 1 capsule to balance your stress response and support your sleep quality. You can put it in your mouth, you can put it in your anus. You're free. This is America. The results speak for themselves. Over 1,500 5-star reviews from people who've reclaimed their calm, their sleep, and their energy. And right now, you can save 10% off when you go to www.bioptimizers.com/brand and use the code BRAND. Use that code. Do use it. They even offer a full 365-day guarantee, so there's no risk. Don't just manage stress. Break through it with Magnesium Breakthrough. Go to bioptimizers.com/brand. And if you subscribe, not only will you be getting amazing discounts and free gifts, we'll make sure your monthly supply is guaranteed. Bioptimizers.com/brand. Use the code BRAND for a discount and to guarantee your Magnesium Breakthrough. Let's round off this tariff story now. This is Piers Morgan saying that by his reckoning, Donald Trump and America will win this escalating trade war. Let me know what you think about that, guys.
I would actually back the United States to win a trade war right now with China and put China back in its box. What I didn't like was him taking on the whole of Europe and Mexico and Canada and other allies. But I think you're now seeing the week ending with a slightly more coherent strategy, which may have been his game all along. Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think so. I don't think this is not 4D chess.
We don't know, right?
Yeah, we do know.
But we do know now. Now
you think it's 4-degree chess? It's hungry.
I don't think.
Okay,
that's what
it is. It's the economic version of hungry.
It's a present.
That's a joke that I made about 10 years ago when I was making a documentary with Oliver Stone, and Donald Trump let Oliver Stone use some of his buildings and real estate and properties for filming in New York. The movie was Wall Street 2. But Stone was in production for that at that time, and I was doing a documentary with him. So I got to meet Trump and interview him. Afterwards, I made a joke saying, like, I don't understand. This is like, 10, 15 years ago, whatever. The world's changed a great deal. And I said, I don't know how actually he's accumulated that amount of wealth because I didn't see very much sort of spiritual or emotional curiosity. Who am I to judge? Let me know in the comments and chat. Who cares what I think? That was me at the time. I was doing like the MTV VMA Awards and all that kind of stuff. And I said, maybe the accumulation of wealth is just like having one very honed skill. Maybe economics is just like playing Hungry Hippo. And I can't believe that. Do you think that's plagiarized? Let me know in the comments and chat. Do you think that guy there's plagiarizing that on that Bill Maher roundtable? Because I do. I want my Hungry Hippo joke back. He stole your joke, Russell. Well, as you know, I don't agree with any statute of limitations. You steal my joke from 15 years ago, and if I can prove it, you in a lot of trouble, baby. You in a lot of trouble for stealing my old, not that good joke. Let's have a look at the rest of this clip before seeing Theo Von's insights when it comes to this trade war, which I actually think are quite brilliant.
A president who doesn't play by the normal rules is not an establishment guy. He trusts his instinct and his gut is often right, and sometimes
it's
wrong.
Often wrong.
Yeah,
and when it's wrong, real people suffer because the collateral damage is catastrophic.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
The audience at Bill Maher still pretty much in the rapture and capture of the liberal establishment there, and that Patton Oswalt style joke thief guy there, he's hanging on to some old ideas. Piers Morgan's a person who I'd disagree with on a million things if I spoke to him for an hour, I'm pretty sure, and maybe I will speak to him for an hour soon. But I reckon his description of Donald Trump's pretty accurate. It feels right, don't it, to you that what Trump is very intuitive, instinctual man, as I've said before, kind of conjured up by the collective American imagination, a perfect American prophet for the perfect American time, who somehow seems to robustly understand and be able to act out and instantiate ideas that the American people want to live through. And because before it, the liberal establishment was so condemnatory and hateful of ordinary Americans, disgusting, derogatory, whether it's basket of deplorables or actually more significant policies that were enacted that were that impecuniated American people, they were ready for someone that would stand up and be counted like a priapic force against the injustices and constant condemnation of that class. What do you think about that, guys? It's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Let's have a look at Theo Von, man, saying that just sort of he's personally experiencing when touring a level of poverty and social breakdown in America that needs to be addressed somehow. Check it out.
Oh, these tariffs are getting out of control.
Oh, yeah. The tariffs are getting out of control. All the everyday items that will cost Americans more following Donald Trump's global tariffs. But here's the thing with tariffs is the goal of tariffs is that if it costs more for people to bring their products in, then they'll build them here.
Yes,
right?
That's part of it, yeah.
So it's kind of a long-term play. It's going to take a while.
It's going to be bumpy for a while,
right.
But that's if it works.
Right.
So we'll see, but it might take 10 years.
Right. If we don't try this, though, then I think it's a wrap.
Oh, you think just go for it, bite the belt and go for it?
I do, because I think at this point, even from my own perception, we probably on this tour, this comedy tour, we've been in probably the top 200 cities, like size-wise in America, maybe even more than that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, there's nothing there.
Yes.
It's empty downtowns.
Oh, yeah. It's boarded up.
We're in Amarillo. It's empty downtown. Shreveport, Louisiana. It was empty downtown. Toledo, Ohio, right? It's getting a little bit better there. And that's just a few. I mean, a lot of places. Montgomery, just empty.
Yep.
And so you start to be like, nothing's going to, there's nothing coming that's going to make that different, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe that's just how society changes and evolves, and we just end up with like 7 big cities in America, and the rest of it is just like rural land where people live and have great lives, but they're not in like a city.
Yeah.
And these things fall by the wayside.
This could be a revolutionary awakening moment for all of us. Let's stop worshipping the phony false idols of phones and a culture that actually hates you. Would it be the end of the world if America learned to manufacture its own phones and artifacts, particularly if it was under a new spiritual ontology in which we no longer revered these objects, just used them as functional tools? How about bringing manufacture back to America, as is, I suppose, the raison d'etre and purpose of these tariffs? How about bringing manufacture back to the UK? How about Britain for the British, America for Americans? You can have diversity, or at least variety within that, but you've got to know what your country is and what your country stands for. And within that nation, surely you should have maximum subsidiarity. Each community, wherever possible, self-sustaining. What we have to get over first and foremost is our infatuation with these objects, our constant reification and worship of these objects. Because just take it on a little mental journey personally right now. Oh yeah, but would these iPhones be as good if they were being made in Delaware or some place in Massachusetts? Who cares? Who cares? Is that what's standing between you and suicide? An iPhone, a donut, a bar of chocolate, a blowjob, a wank? Is that what it is? If it is, you are in serious spiritual trouble. It ain't enough. It don't matter. Wouldn't you be better off living a simple life where you were as close as possible to the food that you eat, where you lived where it was grown or where it was reared, where you knew how to hunt, where you knew how to grow, where you knew how to love, where you knew that your life meant something? What about the nihilism and despair that has been rendered by these systems of consumerism and advanced capitalism? I'm not talking about trade and making a profit on a punnet of strawberries or a well-made handgun. I'm talking about mass production to the point of annihilation, nihilism, and emptiness and hollowness. Maybe these tariffs can bring about a type of isolationism that's synonymous with nation itself. Not isolationism that means radiant hatred, that just means a country is a country, a county is a county, a town is a town, a family is a family, and an individual is an individual, and we are all under one holy God this holy week. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.